Hi, I'm Colin Walls and I'm here once again to talk about embedded software. Today I want to talk about a C++ language feature. It's a feature of the language which many people say is a real benefit because it makes the code easier to write and easier to understand. And I went along with that idea for a while and I'm beginning to have my doubts. But I thought I'd share with you the ideas and leave you to make your own decision. Let's consider the following possibility. You want to write a function which swaps the value of two parameters. So you want to make a call where it says swap x, y, and you want the values of x to be swapped with the value of y. Sounds very straightforward, but of course you can't do it because in the C language and in C++ by default, parameters are passed by value. So the value of the variable x is passed into the function and the value of the variable y is passed in, but they can't be written back to. Now the solution to that is to write your function so you pass pointers instead. So you pass a reference to x and a reference to y, and then you write your code accordingly. So we need to write code that looks like this using the standard pointer notation. It's fine, this code will work just fine. So in this case we receive a pointer to each of the parameters and we have a temporary variable. We swap over A and B and we end up with the result we want. It meant we had to make a call passing in pointers, as I said before, and that's not a problem so long as you remember to do it, and it will do the job. Now, in C++, we have another way of achieving this. When we define a function, we can use the appropriate notation to say that the parameters are reference parameters. So the parameters are passed by reference instead of being passed by value. This means that any changes you make to those parameters in the function are effected in the calling function. So you write the code like this, which is more or less the same logic. Actually, it's exactly the same logic as I showed you before, only now we have slightly simpler syntax because we're not messing with pointers anymore. Then when we want to call the function, we just simply say swap x, y. That all sounds great, and anything that alleviates you from the potentially error-prone territory of using pointers is a good thing. However, if you look at this call, swap x, y, there is nothing in this call that shows you that the result of calling this function will have any effect on x and y. You can find out by looking at the prototype for the function or looking at the function itself, but just looking at the call doesn't tell you that. Whereas the previous variant in C or in C++ when you're passing by value, where you see you're passing a pointer to x and y, it's very, very clear that the swap function could change these variables. So I guess it's a matter of pros and cons. Do you want to write clearer code in the function itself? Do you want to master how pointers work and hence make sure you get it right? Or do you want to take the risk though of the calling code being unclear? I don't have the answer. It's for you to choose. I'm beginning though to lean towards not using reference parameters as a possibility. But I've given you, I hope, the information to make your own decision. That's all for today. Thank you for your time, and I'll be back soon to talk about some other aspects of embedded software. Bye for now.